You're listening to Underground Sounds on CKUT 90.3 FM. Welcome, everybody. In studio, Brad Simpson with you. We've got
Melissa Samard.
What's up, Melissa? And our special guest, Declan EC. Declan, what's up?
Hello, how's it going?
It's going swell. It is a beautiful night here in Montreal. And here we are to talk about the new album out this April? Ish?
Yes.
Yeah.
April 3rd, I believe.
Very recent from Declan EC, Parallel Punk. And if people haven't wrapped their ears on this one, you will. So congratulations for tuning in this evening on CKUT.ca, 90.3 FM on your FM dial. Welcome. So you've got this album that's out, which slaps. It's very, very good.
Thank you.
High energy.
Yeah.
And you've got a show coming up.
Yes, the 28th.
28th. We'll be slamming those details at you all throughout the next 2 hours.
Wonderful.
You wonderful folks. In for a treat. So, Declan, tell us a little bit about the second album coming together. And I want to know, in particular, after your first album, 15, and this one, definitely the common notes, you can kind of feel this is the same guy, but a lot of like maturation in the sound. How do you see the evolution of yourself as an artist between the two albums?
Yeah, I mean, I like to think, well, the first one is 15. That was my first album, and it was put out, and it's called 15 because I was 15 when I made all of it, and it came out when I was 15. And I was 17 when, well, I'm still 17. I'm 17 now that Parallel Punk, my second album, has come out. And I think, like, just generally all humans kind of progress a lot within that amount of time. Like, you mature a lot. Like, a lot of huge life changes have happened to me within that span of time that have, like, all very much, like, affected the like emotional processing that is sort of the basis for all my music. I just think like I've gotten to be like a deeper person, and my songs have gotten deeper from it. But also just on a more like obvious note, on the first album there were a lot of instrumentals because I was a very shy. I had never really sang until then. Like I was much newer to music than I am now, and it's like after having that one under my belt, where it's like I sang a lot, and I was very scared of singing, so I stopped. And I like held back a lot from that to do more instrumental stuff because I was nervous. Now that I ended up working on the second album, and I was like, I set a personal goal. I was like, I'm gonna sing on every single song, even if I'm new to it, even if I'm not that good at it. I'm still gonna like each song is gonna have lyrics, and they're gonna be thoughtful, and it's gonna be sung, and it's gonna sound more well put together than the first one was. Like the first one is like, the first album was good. It's solid for somebody who's 15 who's putting out their first album, but I think the second album is like it's actually a very like well-oiled machine of music. Like it feels consistent to me. I'm very proud of it.
You should be. Yeah, it's really, really good.
Thank you.
And you're singing throughout the album, Declan. You're singing in two languages.
Yes, that's true.
Sometimes inside of the same song. How important is it for you as a person who's bilingual to be able to sneak extra languages into your craft?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I mean, like I live in Montreal. Montreal is a bilingual city where, if anything, we're primarily francophone for being in Quebec. So I think that it's important to represent. Like I went to a French elementary school and like an immersion program, high school and stuff. So I speak French very, very fluently. And every once in a while, I'll like write some poetry in French, and I feel like I might as well include it. I mean, like typically we're in a francophone province. The francophone artists tend to blow up more as well. You know what I mean? Like they receive more like immediate attention. So it's like I get to like appeal to different crowds as well. Like I get to like, oh, you listen to only francophone music. It can play on francophone like radio stations and stuff. I can. I have a couple French songs for you as well. Although my main language is English though, so I kind of like I gravitate towards it. But like I'm thinking of maybe even in the future writing like entire albums in French. Even like it's just the language barrier doesn't bother me at all.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You're on a bilingual show too, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we try to always get get both languages in here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's important to like cater to both like cultures. We're like a very like diverse city, and everybody speaks like English or French or both. So why not do both? You know what I mean? If you only restrict yourself to one, you're limiting your like your audience and your demographic and stuff.
Sweet. Okay, so talk us through with this new album, Parallel Punk. What's your favorite song to play live?
Live, okay.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to ripping out in front of everybody on the 28th? What's going to pick the crowd up? Because they're all pretty high energy.
Yeah. I really like Goddamned, which is like the lead single. It was the first song on the album too. It really sets the tone very, very intensely. I'm really happy with that song. I love playing it. It's chantable to the audience as well. So it's like, I remember during the launch of my album at the Wheel Club, there was like Greek choruses of teenagers all like singing along to my music, and that felt very, very good. But aside from that, I really like also one of the last songs on the album, No Spark, which is like a slow, sort of like almost like hip hop drum and bass loop thing with like this heavy guitar part that comes in only like a couple times. It's like it's almost like it's my longest song. It's like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. But that's like a prog song for my usual stylings. But the live version is super different from the recorded one, where at the end there's like this big explosive final chorus, which kind of turns into like some Sonic Youthy like noise rock explosion thing at the end, and that is very fun to play because it's where we all like the whole band gets to all like let loose on stage and sort of like bounce around and just make noise and be hectic and stuff. There are the later songs in the set as well, because it's like, you know, it's where the intensity is at its highest. The tension is palpable there.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of putting together an album
Yes.
and being able to be really hands-on with it, like how much is this like the sort of the order of the tracks, the selection of the tracks, you were able to be in full control on this this baby?
Yeah. I mean, I played most of the instruments on the album with my dad Paul Carniello stepping in on to play drums. Even though I think I'm a better drummer than him at this point. I play drums too. I play all the other instruments. Like I play all the keyboards, I sing, and I play guitar and bass and stuff. I wrote all the songs myself except for one co-write too. So I mean, I've had like almost full, if not completely full, creative control over this. Like I've had a vision for what the album would sound like, and then as it was getting made, it was just sort of like coming together to get closer and closer like the final product that I really was looking forward to. I mean, I like to think it has like a vibe too. Like it starts off with the more like anthemic, like hard hitting fast songs, and then it slowly gets like darker and more like alternative, like harder to define music later on, like stuff like Between the Tracks is like a slow, trudgy, drony keyboard song, and it's like, they feel different towards the end, and it gets like darker and more angsty as it goes on. I like that. That was my vision mainly for it as well. I was like, it's going to start off being very like intense and more straightforward, and then it's going to get a little like darker and more interesting as it goes on.
Really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listeners, we're going to get into Parallel Punk by Declan EC. We're going to start off with a bang. It starts off, as you've mentioned, with Goddamn. Stay tuned. Keep your radios right where they are and enjoy.
We're in the studio with Declan EC. It's 90.3 FM, CKUT. We have Brad in the house. We also have his dad, Paul Carniello, who's also in the studio with us. So before I get you to talk a bit about how it feels to listen to your album from the beginning to the end in the studio, I'm going to just ask you, can you plug in your show that's going to be happening on August 28th? The details.
Yeah, for sure. So August 28th, I'm playing for Rendez-Vous in NDG Park, Girard Park. On Sherbrooke and Girard, and August 28th, I'm going to be backing up. I'm going to be backed up by my dad's band of all adults, and we're like double headlining the day just to keep the events going. And I forget what time exactly. It's like 6 p.m. or something, 6 and onward. But August 28th. It's my next show.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Declan, this was your second album, Parallel Punk.
Yes.
How did it feel? So we're on Underground Sound, so we're listening to the album from the beginning to the end. So how did it feel to you to hear it on the radio from the beginning to the end?
It's kind of funny. I haven't even like listened to my own album in like a long time. Like it's been a couple months since it came out and stuff. So I've been sort of not really thinking about it that much, aside from like the few shows that I have played in between, like over the summer. It feels pretty nice. It feels pretty cool to get the entire album played on radio. It's like if anybody tuned in at any point, they just get to hear some random song. And sometimes they'll, like, if they go in during like this patch of like 2 French songs, they might think I'm a French artist if they like get in and then get out. But I don't know. I enjoy hearing it on radio. I hope everybody listening can agree.
Yeah.
I'm proud of it. I'm happy that it's being like put out there into the world and stuff. So
I suspect that no matter what point somebody tuned in, they probably kept it on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good vibe.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I want to start at the beginning. So can you tell us where and when you were born?
Okay, so I was born on October 29th, 2008. In Montreal, in the Jewish General Hospital.
In the Jewish General Hospital. And where
Yes.
did you grow up in Montreal?
In NDG. I've lived there my whole life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a bit about how music played a role in your life and how it was around you growing up?
Yeah, so, well, my dad, Paul Carniello, is also a musician, and he has been a musician for, like, twice as long as I've been alive. Like, since way before I was born, they had already been... He was full set on making music and like being a musical household and so on. And so ever since I was a kid, I remember that there was like my room used to be a recording room before I was born. And so they had to like haul all the gear out of my room and then go put it somewhere else and stuff. But I remember as a kid, like there were always a lot of musicians coming like in and out to record on little things and stuff. And there was always some kind of, even if there wasn't necessarily music being made in the house at all times, which there often was, there was always music playing in the house. And it's like we just have like a wall of shelves and like CD racks and vinyls and even tapes and stuff, and like all of this music of like hugely various different genres, like ridiculously wide variety. And there's just always something playing, like, oh, we're gonna go cook something in the kitchen, let's play these two CDs, and then we're gonna, I don't know, play a board game in the living room, then we'll put on a vinyl to be the soundtrack to it. There's a lot of music, even if it wasn't always being like made, it was always being played, and it rhymes, so it must be true.
Nice.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a bit about your evolution? So how you went from, growing up around music to making music yourself?
Yeah, so I actually, when I was like a kid, I was probably like 10 years old, I maybe even younger even, I recorded vocals on a kid's album that my dad made. And I was like the singer/songwriter kind of this album called Something Different, because I used to not say different. I would only say different because I liked the sound of it better. That's how young I was, for context. So I guess I have been making music for a very long time. But I mean, I had never really considered it like a serious thing. Like I remember back in the day, I was just like, oh, I'm just recording this stuff. I'm just talking into a microphone, and then that's it. And then it's going to exist. And I never really thought of it as like, this is like creation and like a part of like some greater process to like make some kind of art. Later in life, when I was like a little older, my dad also tried teaching me guitar, and I hated it, and I was like, what is this? And I rejected it very hard until like a couple years ago during the big ice storm. I picked up a guitar again because I was bored, and ever since then I've been playing guitar. Like I've had a guitar in my room, and I just an acoustic guitar, and I just kind of like sit there and jam and noodle on it and stuff. I don't know. And from there, there were a couple like moments where I started when I started playing music, I got into more music as well, if that makes sense. Like I started playing guitar and I was like, now I'm going to listen to like, I wanted to learn songs on guitar. So I started listening to like rock music and like riffs and like up tempo, upbeat stuff like the Hives, which are like this huge influence band on me. Yeah, one of my favorite bands. And I remember like thinking, and I watched like a video of them performing live from like 2002 on YouTube. I was like up past my bedtime or something, and I'm like watching this video on YouTube, and I'm just like, I remember thinking like, this is the day I want to play guitar. Like I want to be a guitarist. It doesn't matter like if I am a musician or not. I'm going to play guitar, and I'm going to perform. I'm going to play it in front of people, and people are going to be impressed by my guitar playing and all of this. And it was like, from then on, I just discovered that entire like era of music, and it's influenced me a lot into eventually making my own, like creating my own guitar parts and other instruments too. Like I started writing on piano around then as well, and like stuff like that. And it influenced me a lot, very profoundly. Now I can't pick up an instrument without trying to write a song on it. So, yeah.
And so you've mentioned one influence. What are some of your other influences or inspiration? I think Deja Voodoo's one.
Yeah, there's I have a lot of influences. I listen to it like since there's been so much music in my house like my whole life. I've just been like exposed to so many different genres. So it's like I love disco, which is like you can kind of pick up on it by listening to the album. I find the drumming is very disco oriented. Like there's like some like disco bass parts that are like it makes you really like bop side to side and stuff. But disco is like a huge influence on me and like a huge genre in my life that I've loved listening to. Like to name artists, like I've always loved like George Benson in like the 80s when he was doing his like dancier stuff. I remember hearing the song "Fresh" by Kool and the Gang for the first time and thinking like, oh, this is some groovy stuff. Like I wanna do stuff like that. But I've always wanted to make rock music. My biggest influence, I think, is Jack White of the White Stripes and like the Dead Weather and the Raconteurs and all that. He's just like he's collaborated with so many artists, and he's a guitar player, and he's into like all this old blues like Son House and like R.L. Burnside and like niche artists from back in the day, but bringing it in like this new style. And he like kind of he was important in garage rock, and like as a teenager listening to garage recorded music feels so cool because it's DIY, and it's like I'm a teenager, I don't necessarily have access to all these resources or like the $1 million budget that like stuff on like released on major labels would be requiring. So it's like I remember listening to the White Stripes for the first time being like, wow, this is something else. This is a different kind of music from everything else. Aside from that, I love like Gorillaz too, because they collaborate a lot. They're hard to define genre wise. Like their first album is like trip hop almost, but then like their second one they brought in a lot of rappers, but it's not all like rap music. It's like there's like dance songs and like club and house music on it, and it's just really interesting songwriting and song structuring, and I've always thought is really cool. I got the chance to see them live even a couple of years ago, and that was really cool. So yeah, like Gorillaz, Jack White, those are my big influences. The disco genre entirely. I love like Saint Vincent, stuff like that. She's like a modern day, another like guitar driven artist, but also she creates like really interesting. She's not only is she an amazing guitarist and an amazing singer, but she creates like cool like soundscapes in the songs, and she's like a rock artist, quote unquote, in the modern day that like has like keyboard songs and stuff. Like it's not all about the guitar, even if it's like guitar driven. It's like it's more nuanced and more complex than that, which I tried to achieve on my album on Parallel Punk as well, where it's like there are like keyboard songs and like drony or noisy or other things. Visually as well, though, I feel like my long hair look was very inspired by Sonic Youth. I just wanted to look like Thurston Moore. We even play the same guitar, so I'm a little too short, but like I feel like I got pretty close. Now I got a haircut, so I'm straying away from that. But Sonic Youth is a huge influence on me. Like Cool Thing is such a great song, or like just the album Daydream Nation is awesome. Anyway, yeah.
Nice. Do you want to pick out maybe a few songs based on some of the things that have inspired you, or that we hear that inspiration in your music, or totally up to you?
You mean like songs I've heard that have inspired me?
Yeah, or the things that you might want us to listen to or play right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Sonic Youth. Like all their stuff from the 80s, late 80s and 90s, I always thought was really cool. Disco, like he's the greatest dancer. That's a great song.
He's the greatest.
Yeah, exactly. It makes me just like want to like dance a little bit, you know. Like I funk music, like Jamie Liddell, which is like a modern sort of like soul singer, but he's like this British white guy with glasses, and he makes like funky like keyboard music.
I hear
really
a lot
weird.
of like British influence in your music. Actually,
yeah. A lot of people
Yeah.
who were teenagers in the '90s tell me I sound like Beck, and I take it as a compliment because I really like Beck, but I don't even see the resemblance that much. But
Nice.
I mean, I love Beck. I mean, like Where It's At. That's a cool song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we'll get into some music. We'll do a little set, and then when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about your collaborations and maybe stuff that you've produced as well.
Cool. That'd be awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can just kind of like keep talking for
Okay, I'll
like
keep
30
talking
seconds
right
while
now.
I hook everything up.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that'd be awesome.
So actually, do you want to talk a bit about, you talked about some turning points or things, how they
Yeah.
evolved, but do you have any like really clear memories that stand out to you in terms of music? Like moments that were really like...
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
It's
Epic.
funny you bring that up because like when I was telling the story, I got like a flashback to like a core memory of this time. I remember being a little kid, or maybe no, I wasn't even. I was probably like 12 years old or something. But I think it was before I learned guitar. It started my fascination with music a little bit. And I remember watching the Prince guitar solo at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like while he plays My Guitar Gently Weeps, and he does it with Tom Petty and stuff. And he does a guitar solo, and I remember watching that and being like, "Wow, Prince is a really good guitarist. I love Prince, and that's all super cool." And I remember asking my dad. And I'm like, well, who's a better guitar player, Prince or Jimi Hendrix? And so he tells me, and I show him the Hall of Fame video, and he was like, yeah, I mean, it's obviously there's no telling. Like Prince is an amazing guitarist. He's one of the best. But then he shows me Voodoo Child live in 1970 on YouTube, live in Maui or something, and it starts off with like the wah intro, and it's like this like weird percussive guitar part. And I remember hearing that, and it was just, it like changed my life a little bit. Like it changed my perspective on music. Like the first time I heard like the intro to Voodoo Child was like, it was crazy. It was formative for me. Mm-hmm. That's a big moment. That was kind of like, that was also one of those like micro turning points where it's like I want to get into guitar. I want to start playing music because I listen to so much, and I really love the medium itself. I'd love to get into it more. That was a big part.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good. We'll take a little musical break. We're in the studio with Declan EC. We're on Underground Sounds, Underground Sounds, CKUT 90.3 FM. So before we continue with the interview and listen to a little more music, can you tell us again about the show that's going to be happening on August 28th?
Yeah, definitely. So August 28th, I'm playing a show co-headlining with my dad, Paul Carniello, for Rendez-Vous, like the big NDG festival. It's going to be at Girard Park on the corner of Girard Street and in Sherbrooke Street. And it's all ages, outdoors, and it's free. So come by.
Nice. So we've been talking a bit about what's inspired you, how things have evolved over time, different influences.
Yeah.
And while we've been listening to music, we've been chatting about some of your collaborations. Can you tell us about some of the people that you've been collaborating with?
Yeah. So I love collaborating with other artists. I love making like a crew of musicians that are all, especially when you're all like the same. Because I'm a teenager, I help out all my other teenage friends who make music. You know, it's fun to reach out and be like, yeah, let's collaborate, let's make music together. And a good example of that is like LL Moore, and he's like my best friend, one of my closest friends right now. And he plays guitar, and he's a songwriter, and he's a great singer, and he started writing songs, and I forget how it came to be, but we sort of like found each other in a way where it's like, you know, I feel like we should make this music into something. He's a talented songwriter, and I was like, I want to make this happen. Like, your songs should not go unheard, you know. And so I produced his. He made an EP. And I produced it. It just came out earlier this year, and I act like a session musician on it. I play all the instruments. He plays guitar and he sings, but I play all the other instruments. And I'm like his one-man band backing him up, you know. And I'm really proud of his EP. I'm really proud of his project, and I'm really happy that he has music put out as well. it's fun to collaborate too, especially when you're friends with the people. Like sometimes it can get a little tense, but like when you're in like the zone together and you're in like a flow of working together, like when you're close with somebody, the ideas really bounce off of each other very naturally, and it's very like it's refreshing to get another perspective on like making music.
Mm-hmm. And probably deepens your friendship.
Yeah, I think it definitely did. Yeah.
Wonderful. And can you tell us about some other people that you've collaborated with or that you've produced music for them?
Yes. So I've also produced Montreal rapper Remy Picasso. I've produced for him before. One of the EPs that I put out right before I dropped my first album. And also he did a freestyle for me. But that was like our introduction to one another. I ended up later on like producing most of one of his albums, Lost in Dysfunction, which is not only is it a really cool album from I think really the best rapper in Montreal right now, the hottest in the city, you could say. That's one of his songs on the album. But yeah, so I produced some beats for him, and he's I really like him. We get along together and stuff. He has an insane work ethic. Like he can just get to the studio. Never heard your beats before. You'll play them for the first time and he'll be like, oh, let me just make something real quick. He'll just write like 3 full verses and he'll go into the booth, and it's like super dense lyrics. And he's not just like a rapper. He's a poet. Like he makes real meaningful music. And working with him is super fun. He's a fun guy to have around, and I'm proud of our album. When I make beats for like rappers, I try to avoid sampling because I play many instruments, so it's like I never really need to sample. I never need to chop up like parts from other songs because I could just replay them myself. You know what I mean? I never need to take a drum break. I can just play a drum break and that sort of thing. So I think all of the beats on that album are based on no sampling. It's all like just stuff that I made by playing guitar and bass and keyboards and stuff. And he's great as well, where it's like some rappers are not as versatile and they really like stick to their field. Like there's a lot of like trap people that really like stay in their drill trap scene, and then there's some like boom bap people who are like really purist to like that sort of classic, more vintage feel. But Remy can really do it all, and I feel like my beats are also kind of much like my albums are kind of hard to define in terms of like what they sound like. It's not trap, it's not boom bap necessarily. It's like it's real like instruments that touch air, quote unquote, as opposed to just being a sampler as well. And he fits them very, very well, I think. And I love collaborating. I look forward to working together in the future too. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like he's really versatile, but you also become versatile too. But through your collaborations, it opens up whole other worlds.
Yeah. Well, when you work with talented musicians, it kind of forces you to like bring your A game to things. Like not only to like impress them, but also to like to allow them, especially with like a rapper or like a singer, when you're making the music for somebody, it's like if they're really talented and you want them to like go 110% create like something up to the best of their abilities, you need to lay out like the bed for them in like a perfect way that allows them to coast on top of it, like, and do their thing. And so I've been forced to like bring my A game to this, and I think it shows too. Like I'm really happy with our collaborations. I hope he is too. It's always fun to like run into him as well because he's a fellow like NDG guy. So
yeah, I think bring your A game, but also in a very supportive way. Like you said, it's very nurturing as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's a little older than me, but I feel like we get along quite well. Like we're friends. He's cool. He's a cool guy. Yeah.
Right on. I can't hear boom bap without thinking of KRS-One. I just can't. It's like an instant reflex, but yeah. So along those lines, are there any songs that you would like us to hear tonight, and would you like to present them to us?
Yeah. So I talked about LL Moore. I would like to play some songs from his EP, which is out on Bandcamp. All original songs of his, with me backing him up. So he has one acoustic song I picked, and then one sort of more upbeat, like full band song, which are called Again and My Best, which I think are great. And the Remy songs, I would like to mention like Warning Shot, which was a single that we put out together that ended up being on the album. And that one kind of kicked off a lot of our like more serious collaborations together too. And what was the other one? Also Hoodie Music and Dirty Vans, which is like a joint song. It's like 2 beats with a switch in the middle put together. It's very cool. And I believe there was another one. Yeah, was it Thoughts from a Ledge or Conversations Over Gin? Yeah, Thoughts from a Ledge. Yeah, that one is, which is like a super, it's inspired by this Brockhampton song called Heat, which is like this really like heavy, just distorted bass line and drums. And so we took, I was inspired by that, and I created this droney bass line and drums, which was just sort of a one-take jam between me and my dad. And it is very heavy, very distorted, and features Jordan Eric as well on ad-libs and on backups, which is, he's hyping it up. It's great. Yeah.
Right on.
Very cool. All right, into LL Moore. Keep it tuned to CKUT 90.3 FM.
All need to improve. On the mic, I'm starting 5. How they start players, but ain't even in the starting 9. I'm niggas 9. This a warning shot. Don't make me make your mama cry. This no battle, I kill them, piss on their grave. This is hip hop. Back to its ghetto and broken roots. Don't expect you to be strapped. You the victim, I hit a shoot. I'm back. Huh. Thought I couldn't rap. How you like it like that?
You heard it here tonight at Underground Sounds, 90.3 FM, CKUT. So Declan, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. So you're very young,
Yeah.
and the future is ahead of you. What are some of your dreams for the future? What are you hoping for?
I want to be a musician. I want that as my career. I'm going into Cégep right now in cinema. So it's like still in the arts, but like a different sort of artistic domain or a different medium. I'm hoping in the long run that it kind of helps me out with like music videos, and maybe I get to connect with some other like people in like the art making industry that would help me out potentially. But I really do want to be a musician. I want to make music. I love doing it, and my aspirations as a musician though would be to put out diverse yet consistent in terms of quality albums. Like I don't want each album to be like a rehash of the same sort of style. Like, my second album to me feels like an upgrade from my first one. And I feel like if I were to keep making music, I would like for each album to be upgrades of the last, or at least like different approaches to different styles and different sort of influences that I'm leaning on harder for the future. Like, I want to have a very diverse discography by the end of my career, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that said, what are you listening to right now? Like when you're walking around, or you're eating a meal, or cooking, or who knows what? Like,
It's a good question.
Just sitting in a room.
I listen to everything. The other day, it was actually, I had to I was at like a campfire, and I was DJing for this group of teenagers, and I had to play all these dancey songs for everybody to like start like dancing to and stuff. I don't know. Like I try to to curate the music based on like the vibe of the moment. So it's like if I'm making food, I don't necessarily want to have like the most like intense like hype music going, but I'll play like some like Warren Zevon Excitable Boy, that album. I'll like put that on while I'm like cooking some carbonara or something. But then like say I'm driving and I'm like feeling kind of tired, I'm gonna put on like Rage Against the Machine, so that when I'm driving I'm like headbanging and I'm going like, and I'm like super amped, like gripping the steering wheel with full strength,
but not veering into road rage.
No. No comment, actually. Yeah, but I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff, a lot of varieties of things. Lately, I mean, I've been doing a lot of driving recently because I recently got my license. Woo! Yeah, that's the age I am. So I've been like I bring like a CD from the house into the car because our car still has a CD player. So the other day I was yesterday driving, and I was listening to Portishead, doing some like nighttime drives, giving people lifts and stuff, and that felt pretty vibey. Aside from that, before we were making a lot of mixed CDs, so a lot of various different like there's like Stromae and like Chromeo and all of this like 2010s like pop, but like that's kind of cool. And then like later on is like, I don't know, like Randy Newman and like Don Blackman or something. I don't know, like some weirder other niche stuff that come on later. But I lots of diverse stuff, lots of different eras of music. Yesterday, sorry to go on this tangent, but I've always hated Queen my entire life, the band, and I think Bohemian Rhapsody is one of my least favorite songs of all time, and I don't know why white people go crazy every time that song plays. But I heard I Want to Break Free, and I was like, it's pretty good. So there we go. I have a new guilty pleasure Queen song now. Like, I'm betraying myself by.
Have you seen the video of that song?
I have seen the video. It's iconic.
Yeah.
I want to make a video like that one day.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, I'm going to cinema, so maybe I can.
Yeah. And do you have kind of an anthem, like something that's kind of a constant for you, or that's like a song that's kind of followed you for a while or represents you, or?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of music that has sort of like, I find, represented a certain era of my life. There are some songs that I think are timeless, and like I could listen to this forever and never get tired of it. There are nostalgia songs, of course. I mean, I really like "Let It Happen" by Tame Impala. I think that song, I remember when it came out, which is crazy. Like, I remember listening to it on the radio on the way to school when I was in first grade, and to this day, I still think that's like one of my favorite songs. I think it's like it's an epic like EPOCH. You know what I mean? Like, that's like an epic song. There's some other ones as well. Like I really like "Roundabout" by Yes. It's like this prog song that's like 8 minutes long of just never any repeating parts.
A drummer's nightmare.
Yeah, a bassist nightmare. Have you heard that? Well, a bassist dream, you could say. Yeah, I really like "Stick to Me" by Graham Parker as well. That was a very formative song in terms of like my musical stylings, and like "Pump It Up" by Elvis Costello. That sort of vibe. But yeah, I really like a lot of weird things like that. A lot of weird things stand out to me, which I don't know, like "Little Bird" by the White Stripes as well. Like, it's just a cool song, and I love the White Stripes by a band I really like, you know.
Mm-hmm. So I think Brad will probably work in some anthems, but can we also put in some songs from your first album, 15, that you made when you were 15?
Yeah,
Can you
15.
Talk to us about a couple songs that we might listen to.
Yeah, so there's a couple songs on that album that, like, I briefly mentioned like a little while ago that there's a lot of instrumentals on it, and that's mainly because I was a very shy performer. Like, I was still very new to music. I was completely new to making music. You know, I had never put out an album before that, so it was very crazy to like be in the booth recording vocals on stuff, especially because like I had by that point like at least like a year's worth of experience of playing guitar and like a couple months worth of like playing piano, but like singing I had really never dipped my toes into until like it came like the deadline of like, if I still want to put this out by like while I'm still 15, I got to record all these vocals right now. And so I was really stressed about that, and I was really nervous, so I never really got around to it. And that's why there are so many instrumentals, because I was very like insecure about singing. But I think that the songs that I like, you'll hear it in my voice too. Like it's so different. Like, I guess I've grown up since then though too. But like the songs that I've picked, I think are the ones that really stood the test of time the hardest. Like Deja Vu is still one of my biggest hits. It's up there with Goddamned. I think those are my two biggest like hits as an artist. It's one of my most anthemic, like sing-along-able songs. And so is Song 3. Song 3 is just like some vibes. It's just chill and weird and dark and angsty and stuff. My first album was so angsty. It was called 15 because I was 15. So already, like,
perfect.
You know what you're getting into when you see that.
Right on.
Yeah.
So before we exit to the last music set, can you tell us about the event one more time? And also, can you tell us about how people can find you, where they can get your music? Yeah,
absolutely. So, I mean, I'm Declan EC. You can find me on Instagram on Declan as Declan.ec, or on YouTube just as Declan EC. If you look up some of my videos like Goddamned or Deja Vu that are faux, you'll see some of my music videos directed by fellow teenager friends of mine and stuff, and featuring people like that. I'm on all streaming platforms, like I'm on Spotify and Apple Music and Tidal and Bandcamp, where if you want to actually buy my album and like literally own the rights to your copy of my album, you can go on Bandcamp and support me there.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. And yeah. But yeah, I'm all over the internet. If you Google me, the Google AI knows who I am, so that's cool. aside from that, I'm playing an event quite soon. So I'm playing August 28th. I'm doing like a double headline with my father, Paul Carniello, fellow Montreal underground
Who's in
musician.
here tonight?
Who's actually in the studio taking pictures right now, unfortunately. So on August 28th at about 6 p.m. and onward, it's going to be a show in Girard Park, so on the corner of Girard and Sherbrooke Street, for Rendez-Vous, big festival over the course of the summer. And it's free, it's all ages, it's outdoors, August 28th, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time tonight, and we wish you all the best.
Are you kidding? Thank you. This has been a huge opportunity. This is CKUT. This is such a huge, radio station in my life. It's crazy. It's like, I don't know if I'm allowed, if this is like a CBS, NBC type of situation where I'm not allowed to mention the other networks, but
you can do it.
I've done I did a little interview on CJLO, which is the Concordia College Radio, for the Pressure Drop Show. So shout out to Danny Payne, who does the Pressure Drop Show, because he's awesome. That's the biggest radio that I've done up until now, and it's now this is a step above that. This is crazy. This is surreal.
Yeah, and really exciting, for the people who've been listening tonight too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Right on, and thank you, Brad, for everything. Yeah, for running the sound, running the vibes, the radio voice, and
running the vibes.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
My reflection